timers confirm that Roberts has indeed backed the pace down now. He turned the 46th lap of this race at 2 minutes 8.4 seconds. Remember that he qualified almost 9 seconds faster than that. He shattered the 2-minute barrier on the 3.87-mile Daytona motorcycle road course. No man in history has ever been around here faster. Kenny Roberts, who started the race on the pole, appears if he can hold it in one piece to finish in first spot. That alone is something of an accomplishment. Back in 1963, Ralph White on a Harley-Davidson won the Daytona 200 from the pole, and then it was 13 years before anybody could do it again. The next time it happened was Steve Baker in 1977, but that started a real trend because Roberts came back and lapped the field from the pole in 78, and some guy named Singleton won it from the pole in 79. It's only been done 4 times. Dale Singleton, is there that much advantage to starting on the pole, or why is there a pole jinx here?
I really don't think so, Dave. 200 miles of racing action here is really something that's not so important as far as the 200-mile endurance is concerned. Winning the pole here at Daytona is something that, of course, encounters a lot of prestige for a rider. It gets a lot of attention from the press and the media, and it does set a trend that you are a competitor. You turn the quickest time here. It's more or less of a big glorious moment to win this race from the pole.
Well, Kenny Roberts has sat on the pole 8 times, and Kenny Roberts says that the nature of the Daytona 200 has begun to change just a little bit.
Yeah, the bikes are getting so good, so dependable, that I think that my bike is capable of doing this race flat out, just like a GP, 200 miles. Whether I can do it, I don't know. And it's a lot of things happen in this race, like bikes falling down, oil. So I'll tell you, last year it would have been a 200-mile sprint race had we not had the problems that we had. They're ready. The bikes are ready. It's just setting for a rider that wants to do a sprint race for 200 miles. I don't think I want to do that this year. I want to be a little bit on the safe side. I want to save myself to the end of the race, and that's the way I'm going to play it. I don't care win or lose. That's what's going to happen. If they're really jetting off me right at the beginning, I don't think they will, but if they try it, I'm going to have to play that by ear. But I think we'll be strong at the end of the race.
Played it by ear, and it was a virtuoso performance. Kenny Roberts fell back off the pace when he had to make an unexpected pit stop, and then Kenny Roberts turned up the wick, charged through traffic, and he certainly appears strong as we approach the finish. It may be Kenny Roberts' last Daytona 200. It is the last Daytona 200 for the man in the red and white shirt there. You saw a look at Charlie Watson. What a bit of Daytona history that man has become. He is the referee for this race. Charlie Watson used to announce the old beach races here when they ran on the beach course. His wife Jody scored the races. Charlie has refereed virtually every Daytona 200, and Dale, I think he's probably at the same time one of the most loved and most hated men out there. He's an irascible old 70-year-old retired truck driver, and he's like an Army drill sergeant, but what he says goes.
He's very firm and very concrete and very stern in a lot of cases, Dave, but he is one that the riders have developed a great amount of respect for. He's called the shots. He's made sure that we've been on that racetrack with the safest possible conditions in existence. Charlie Watson is something that a lot of these racers owe a lot of deserving to.
I'll tell you what, it's not going to be the same Daytona without Kenny Roberts, nor will it be the same without Charlie Roberts. He's certainly going to be missed. Charlie Watson, Kenny Roberts and Charlie Watson both making their last Daytona 200 appearances here. As I was listening to Kenny Roberts talk about his race strategy, the calm, conservative, classy world championship rider at the age of 31, I can't help but recall back to 1971 when I interviewed Kenny Roberts for the first time. He was a 17-year-old kid, and to say that he was cocky and arrogant would be the ultimate understatement. Kenny Roberts was not the most popular kid ever to come out of Modesto, California. He was good, and he knew how good he was, and he wasn't bashful about telling anybody about it. He didn't make himself a whole lot of friends. Didn't care about talking to the press, didn't care about talking to anybody. Kenny Roberts' maturity and the class that he has developed, the character that he has developed through winning and losing championships over the years has just been a real personal thrill for me to watch. And the interview that we did with him the other day on Thursday after he shattered the track record was a real personally satisfying experience for me. It is truly a hero worship thing to be able to watch a man like this do the kind of job that he's doing here today. Kenny Roberts deserves to win this Daytona 200.
I really don't think there's a man on that grid that lined up to start the 42nd Daytona 200 that's more deserving to win this prestigious and richest motorcycle
Here is
race.
Heartbreak. Here is Heartbreak for number 37, Thad Wolf. The number 37 machine has broken. He was running in 4th spot. That was the only top-flight Suzuki in the field. It's privately backed by a Japanese millionaire who financed this racing effort out of his own pocket. Thad Wolf came here as the rider. Last year, he was the last privateer, the top privateer in American road racing. Now he is another heartbroken man who has failed, as so many have before, to go the full distance. He came so close. We're on lap 49 of 52, and Wolf walks away, pushing his pink Escargot Suzuki dejectedly into the pits. Meanwhile, Kenny Roberts is closer and closer to the biggest plum in world road racing, the Daytona 200. The interesting question is going to be in victory lane if he gets there 2 laps from now. Will he, in fact, retire? Because he also told us in that Thursday interview, you heard it earlier here on this live telecast, quote, who knows? I may win the race and get all pumped up and run it again next year. Dale Singleton, you know Kenny Roberts. Do you have an opinion? Is this the last time we'll see him at Daytona?
It's really hard to say, Dave. Kenny can do just about literally what he wants to in the world of motorcycle competition, whether or not he's get the renewal from Yamaha, which I'm sure he would, or whatever the circumstances may be. Kenny is at his full objection. Whatever he would like to do, he can come back here, and of course, he's not going to be talent-stricken in one essence to come back and win this prestigious Daytona 200.
With 3 laps to go, Kenny Roberts on his 11th try, trying to win the Daytona 200 for the second time. He did it in 1978 when he lapped the field. It is 1 minute and 2 seconds from first to second place. That means that the second place man, Eddie Lawson, has carved some 18 seconds off Kenny Roberts' lead. That means that Lawson is continuing to gas it up out there, but Kenny Roberts is just cruising. He's trying to save that motorcycle. Now, Dale, is when you really listen to that engine and you really feel that clutch and you anticipate anything in the world that might go wrong.
I think Kenny now is paying more closer attention to his lap boards than ever. And
There's Lawson, and he's charging. Lawson is really on the move. He wants a 1-2 sweep in this race. He wants a personal achievement at Daytona. He won't catch Kenny Roberts, but he wants to be there if Roberts breaks.
You know, the important thing, I think, what Eddie's got on his mind, as far as the statistics are concerned, how many seconds back he finishes on Kenny is something that carries a lot of great importance for Eddie, being the young superstar he is, especially coupled with this great world champion rider, Kenny Roberts, as they enter the 1983 World Grand Prix Championship chase together.
Roberts started out as a dirt track motorcycle racer. He was Rookie of the Year for the AMA in 1972. He came back and won the Camel Pro Series Championship in 73 and 74. He's been a Yamaha loyalist throughout his career, but Harley-Davidson horsepower on dirt track eventually outstripped the Yamahas, and Kenny could no longer compete, so he simply shifted gears, went to Europe, and became the first American ever to win the World Road Racing Championship. He was also the first rookie ever to win that title, and just to prove that that was no fluke, he came back and he won it 2 more times. I think he'd have won his 4th, but an injury and some mechanical problems denied him that opportunity. That is the one goal, if he can take this checkered flag today, that remains for Kenny Roberts. Dale Singleton, he wants to be world champion one more time.
That's absolutely correct, Dave. Kenny has lost none of his desire or concentration on going to Europe and literally conquering the Grand Prix competition. You know, when he quit dirt track racing here, I think it was simply because he was so frustrated with the bikes he rode on the dirt here. The Yamahas just weren't competitive with the factory Harleys that Springer and Randy Goff, Scott Parker, some of the top dirt trackers had. So I think that was his alternate choice, was to get on that road racer and go to Europe, who was Kel Carruthers and worked so closely with him and has been such a great asset to Kenny's performance. Kel, being a former 250cc world champion, has been one of the key factors and elements in Kenny Roberts being the world champion.
It is important to remember that world championship racers basically start their career on pavement and stay on pavement. This is the only man in the world who has ever been able to make the transition from A&A dirt tracking, that wonderful, venerable sport, to road racing in America and go on to the World Championship. Kenny Roberts takes the white flag. He is 3.87 miles away from one of the most monumental victories of his career. I can't imagine what he must be thinking now. He wanted so much to come here and win this race. The early frustration of that pit stop, but the counterpoint to that is the calm, the cool, the comeback. He kept his head together. A 31-year-old veteran knows when it's time to go fast, and he made his charge. He got where he wanted to be, Dale.
Right now is when Kenny is being, I think that second wind of adrenaline, you may say, and that nervousness as he waves to the crowd here. Kenny is feeling self-confident. This is probably a point to where he's feeling a bit cocky now, Dave. You know, he's so close to taking home that second Daytona 200 title as he so smoothly works that infield. You see the lean angle then? He wasn't anywhere near as close as he has been earlier in the race. As he negotiates the turn 5, the International Horseshoe, Kenny Roberts is just cruising, waving to the crowd.
He's flashing the victory sign already. Roberts says, hey, I'm number one. My motorcycle runs the distance. There isn't anybody out there can touch me. I hope that there is still in Kenny Roberts some of that 17-year-old kid who told me in the pits of Lakewood Speedway, an old dirt track in Atlanta, Georgia, when he was a junior rider coming up, hey, I'm better than any of the rest of these guys. He's gone out there and proven it today. He's on the backstretch for the final time. Kenny Roberts is a half lap from an absolute Cinderella victory. He said he would come here and give it one last shot. He said, yeah, my Daytona dream just makes me crazy. I don't know why I can't come here and win this race. I don't know why my motorcycle will never go the 200 miles distance. Today, it's going to do that. Kenny Roberts is coming home.
This is probably where the chill bumps begin right here. I know when I climbed onto this west bank in the last lap in 1981, it just was a chilling experience, very similar to like having a 5-gallon bucket of ice water going down your back, Dave. After riding above that 200-degree motorcycle, it's 2 hours here in the Daytona 200.
At 180 miles an hour, live on WTBS, Kenny Roberts flashes across the victory stripe. Kenny Roberts has won the 42nd Daytona 200. History has been made. A standing ovation from the throng gathered here for one of the greatest men who ever strapped on a motorcycle racing helmet. Kenny Roberts has done what he set out to do. He has left Daytona with that victory that he so much wanted, that he so much cherished. Kenny Roberts on the cool-off lap, headed for victory lane.